over there instead? Work it off. See, you never had one. Work your ass off.
Visible on the mainstream market, which, you know, we used to think mainstream television, that was the only outlet. But nowadays, I mean, online, you can just basically pick up any, you know, thing, and day to day, you can see what's going on. I mean, they're going to see videos from this weekend where we had to wait months to see the magazines back when we were reading. That's right. And I think, you know, that's going to influence people a lot more and give people a different outlook on how to approach things. And Phil, obviously, you're doing a lot more with the media exposure, using, you know, PR to really promote yourself as Mr. Olympia. I mean, you should be highly recognized, if not the one and most ever, if, you know, you continue to win, and Dexter doesn't beat you coming up.
Yeah, I think collectively, you know, with the different eras, obviously, you know, magazines were huge. You know, when I first got into it, you know, I was able to look at bodybuilding actually online, but it was very, very small. There was really no bodybuilding website, dedicated websites. You just had to do like a massive search or have someone actually. The way I found out about you was through a gentleman sitting next to me in a computer programming class. He had like one of your call-outs of like all YouTube with Ronnie and Sean Ray and all these other guys like on stage, and I was like, who are these dudes, man? Like, they swole as hell. Like, like, what is that all about? And you know, what's funny is that, you know, I wasn't the guy that maybe be outside that says, oh, that's gross, or oh, that's weird. It was more like, man, these guys are athletes. Like, look at the muscle. Like, these are like Greek statues. Like, this is amazing. So he's like, I was like, how do I get down with this? He said, well, you got to go, you know, to the student gym. I was like, okay, well, I can't go to the basketball gym anymore. So I was watching these guys lift, and I was just like in total amazement. And these are just regular local amateurs, you know. I'm thinking, man, like, what's up with this, you know, this NPC, you know, sweatshirt and, you know, the pants, and yeah, the big old pants, and then the water jug and all this other stuff. I was like, what is this about? Because I'm wearing, you know, Jordan sneakers and shirts and this and that. And then I went to a couple shows, and the first show I went to, I remember seeing Gunther Schlierkamp guest pose, and I was like, man, this guy's like 300 pounds. Like, how is he 300 pounds and swole? Like, that doesn't, I mean, you see 300-pound guys play football. You see, like, back in the day, like when I was playing basketball in college, you see Robert Trailer, tractor trailer, guys big like that playing hoops, and I'm like, this guy's muscular though. This doesn't make any sense. And I remember seeing him, and I remember seeing like a few other guys compete locally, and I remember seeing a guy, he had this massive chest, and I was like, man, like, I could never do that. And a couple of my boys was like, man, Phil don't know. You know, he could probably do this. But it was up until that second competition I saw Claude Brule and guest pose, and then he met, we met, and we did like a flex. You know, you get the, you know, we all get guys over the weekend and say, hey, let's take a picture, and they make you pose and this and that. And I pose with them, and then this guy says, oh man, this guy's arms as big as Claude's. And then he's asked me, he's like, oh, you compete? I said, no, I just got done playing basketball. He said, oh, I should think about it. And I was like, I don't really understand it though. So then my friend said, this is how you start. You go through the NPC, it's an amateur division, and then just like the show that you were watching, and then you move up. You go from like the state level, and you have to qualify. Back then, you know, it was very few pro cards in bodybuilding, so it was really, really tough. And I remember doing my first show, and that's when I met Jay, and I was like, what the heck? And people already know the story after that, but it was just like in total amazement. Like, how can someone get that big and like that round and this and that? And then, you know, I'm searching through the magazines, I'm getting the NPC catalog and all this other stuff, and I'm learning about the sport on and on and on. And I remember even getting the owner of my gym, Dylan Armbrust, I even had his junior nationals VHS playing at the house, because I was like, man, I got to learn, like, what is a competition? I didn't understand what a prejudging or a night show, even though I saw it, I was like, well, I want to see what it is on a national level, because the NPC, that's where you get your pro card. So I remember watching this VHS, like studying, like I would study like a basketball tape, and then lo and behold, like later on, I ended up, you know, doing, I remember doing the nationals, and I remember all these opportunities started opening up, and Jay helped me out a lot, you know, pushing my name out there amongst a lot of different promoters and different sponsors. And I remember being offered a sponsorship while I was in the NPC, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is really cool. Like, I actually do this. And then, you know, winning my pro card through that process, becoming Mr. USA, I thought that was a great accomplishment. I mean, obviously being Mr. Olympia 3 times now is awesome. But to be able to, you know, walk around Denver, Colorado, and people may not know what Mr. Olympia really is, because they can't really relate. They can relate to some guy that they knew, you know, that did like a local show. So I was like, yeah, I was Mr. Colorado in 2004. And then they're like, oh yeah, my friend, he was just like you, man. And he was Mr. Colorado back in 1970. I'm like, and I'm, you know, trying to remind myself, like, don't talk about Mr. Olympia, but tell them about, like, oh yeah, and I was also Mr. USA. And that was really cool, because I remember being able to walk around the college campus and then being in their online bulletin and their in all of their media and saying, like, former athlete, now Mr. USA through National Physique Committee. And that was really neat. And what's even cooler now is that now we're all champions and stuff, is that we've been really blessed to be able to have guys like Jim Mangan to kind of lead us in a way of being able to show us how shows are ran. And now we all can say when we have bodybuilding show, fitness and figure, you know, bikini, you know, women's physique, we have our own NPC shows. And we're learning the business side of it as well, which is great, because with, like what Jay said, with the social media being as high as it is, we don't have to wait as long. You know, we can have online content right then and there. We can reach so many more people in over 40 different languages now, all around the world. And you get people wearing NPC wear at all these appearances that we go to. We're just in Brazil. People seeing people represent our stuff. You know, it kind of brings more, you know, bravado, if you will, like, you know, being an American and say, like, yeah, you know, this is where you want to be, because there's other organizations we already know, but in order to be, you know, the big cheese, because we've always had, I think we all have had someone that said, yeah, I'm a pro, and you're like, yeah, but I don't remember you. You know, you didn't go through the NPC. I don't remember you at the USA's or the Nationals or North Americans, and you look at, and we've all had, we kind of look at them kind of weird, like, yeah, you're a pro, but like, you didn't go through the top. Like, you didn't go through the top, and this is the top. You know, the NPC is the top, and then you go on from there. So it's just been, I mean, it's a great journey for me, and I'm sure for the rest of you guys as well. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Just piggybacking off what you said, yeah, the NPC is such a great stepping stone to bigger things. You know, the IFBB, which also comes along with, for me, I could never picture myself saying, I make a career out of what I do. Like, through the NPC, you know, got my pro card, started competing, picked up a sponsorship, and, you know, through that as well, you know, I also blog for Fitness Recs for Women magazine, and it's just amazing how much of a great opportunity has been given to me, and I'm just so blessed and thankful for, you know, the NPC and everybody who's associated with it. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, well, you said it all, man. It's, you know, definitely the cream of the crop, NPC, of course. And I tell people all the time, you know, when you turn pro out of the NPC, then we had IFBB to go to. You know, we got tons and tons of shows. There's no other federation has our type of shows. Everybody follow our magazines, which are with the NPC and the IFBB. So why would you want to go anywhere else? If you want to be the best, you need to be here. You know, so I'm like, that's how I was brought up. I was brought up to be the best, you got to beat the best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So why anybody go anywhere else? I have no idea. But anyway, to get to what you guys were saying, coming up through the sport when I was younger, you know, guys would always try and say, Dex, you need to, you know, do a show or whatever. I'm like, no, man, I ain't putting no speedos in front of a lot of people like that. No drawers for me. So you guys taught me to go into a show, so I went to the show. And back then, as you know, Jay, it was really crazy. Fans were going crazy back then. I'm talking about places used to be packed back then. And so I went to the show, and I said, you know, a couple of guys that I know from the gym, all these girls going crazy, screaming for them and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, hey, man, hold up. You know, that was it. Yeah, I ain't gonna even lie. I got into it because of the girls. I wanted to, you know, pick up me some hot chicks. You know what I'm saying? So I did the first show. Surprise. And I won. It's a shocker. And I won overall in the show. You know, the bantamweight, won overall. In the state of Florida, we had back then probably 50 shows a year. So I was the only bantamweight. You was a bantamweight that ever went overall in the state of Florida. I heard of that. Yeah, in the history of bodybuilding in Florida, I'm the first bantamweight to ever win overall. So after that, you know, of course, you know, I was looking at magazines and stuff, and I would see all these guys in there. I'm like, That ain't for me, man. I don't want to be that big, you know. Legs all touching and scrubbing and stuff. I don't want my legs touching together. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't want to get that big. So I kept working out and winning shows and stuff. And you know, as you get better, you get bigger. You know.